And here we go with Wednesday's homework about construction workers. So guys, what I would like you to do right now is actually pause the video and reread this entire thing on your own before you start on this set of questions. Go ahead, pause the video and read it now. Did you read it? If you didn't read it, pause the video and read it now. Pause. Okay, I'm going to assume that if you're listening now, you have reread this because that is the best way. You cannot answer questions about something if you have not reminded your brain what the text was. Remember that your brains grow when you read something actually 2 or 3 times over again because you understand it a little bit more every time you read it. All right. So this first question is actually a vocabulary question. It's asking to find the word cautious. What is the meaning of the word? Okay, so when I look through here, I'm going to look for the word cautious. Found it. All right. Cautious is in this section entitled Safety First. So we're going to reread this section. Have you ever built something that broke or fell? Building can be a dangerous job. Construction workers have to be cautious. They must follow codes. Following the rules protects them. Construction workers use safety gear. Since 1920, they wear yellow hard hats. All right, so the meaning of the word cautious. It says construction workers have to be cautious. Building can be a dangerous job. Construction workers have to be cautious. So if you take out the word cautious, you could say something like, building can be a dangerous job. Construction workers have to be careful. They have to follow the rules to protect them, right? You're talking about how it's a dangerous job, so you need rules to protect you. That tells me that cautious must mean something about safety, protection, making sure that you're okay. So over here, I'm going to restate the question. Find the word cautious. Okay, so I'm going to start with a capital. Cautious means, and then you're going to write your sentence. So you could also look it up, but I want you to, before you look it up, think about it for yourself. So you could write something about cautious means that you're careful. Cautious means that you're taking steps to make sure that you are safe. Okay, so you're going to write here what cautious means. Okay, you can pause before going on to number 2. Number 2. How does the author help the reader understand the meaning of the word codes? Okay, so we're going to find the word codes here. Let's see. They must follow codes. So if it talks about being cautious, they must follow codes. Construction workers have to be cautious. They must follow codes. Following the rules protects them. I think I can understand what codes means because of the other words and sentences that are around it. First, we have the heading right here. This is a heading. We've talked about that a lot. That tells me what all of this is going to be about. Then it's talking about how they have to, like, building can be dangerous. They have to be cautious. They have to follow codes. Rules protect them. That talks about safety gear as well. So to me, the author tells me what codes are. They have to follow codes, meaning kind of like rules, because of the other sentences and words that surround it that help me to visualize and understand what this word is. If I was going to read just the sentence all by themselves, they must follow codes, well, that could be anything. It doesn't really help me understand it. What does help me understand it is this heading and then the words and explanations that happen around this specific sentence. So the author helps by using describing sentences around it. All right. Now, if you want to write this sentence a different way, are you allowed to? Of course you are. I want this to be in your words, but I also want to kind of help you through it. And every week I'll do a little less and a little less, but I think it's important to talk about this together because, well, it's still class and I can still help you with it. What is one text feature the author uses? Explain how it helps you. Now, when I look at this, there's several text features. One of the ones that I just talked about using was the headings. We've talked about that a lot because then I can read each heading: builders, everything we see, workers needed, and safety first. And when I read the headings, it helps me to know what the text will be about in that paragraph. You could also talk about the picture that the author uses to help you understand it. You can talk about the title and how that helps you. So there's several different features. You pick the one that you think is most important and you can write about it here. The last sentence or question is the author explaining something, describing something, or answering a question? Cite evidence to prove your answer. Okay, explaining something means telling you how to do it or telling you about it. Describing something means you are telling what it looks like or what it smells like. You're giving details to help you understand it better. And answering a question means that you've stated a question and then you are explaining your answer or reaction to it. So to me, when I step back and look at this piece called Construction Worker, I know it's an informational text. Do you like to build or construct things? You can become a construction worker. Now, there is a question here, but we aren't really answering that question. When it says, do you like to build or construct things? We are not answering that question. I think as that question is more as just a way to get us excited about reading the text, because none of this is answering, do you like to build things? It was just a way to introduce the piece. So to me, this isn't answering a question. Describing something or explaining something. To me, a description is more like if I was talking about our habitat, I would be describing the ocean, the animals that lived in it, the plants that were there. And explaining something is telling about it. To me, this seems more explaining. It talks about what construction is. It talks about what the workers needed. It talks about the safety of the workers. So to me, this is really explaining what a construction worker is and what they do. So to me, I would say this is explaining something. So you would have to write 2-sentence answer. The first sentence would be stating that this text explains something. And then I know this because tell what it is explaining. You can do this, guys. Take your time, breathe, reread it, and write your answers to the best of your ability. Don't forget capitals and periods. Yay!